The UK Treasury is beginning an initiative to regulate the crypto market, most notably stablecoins. And this follows suit with America, but why? What are the risks posed by stablecoins for the UK and US financial systems? Let's find out. Now, in a new consultation paper that came out on Tuesday, the UK Treasury has put forward a new set of changes to the rules that govern the stablecoin industry. Now, in its report, the Treasury first of all talked about how important stablecoins are for innovation, but second of all, they talked about how they can affect financial stability, and specifically if there are systematic failures at play. To be more specific, the Treasury asked for the following. First of all, for the country's Financial Market Infrastructure Special Administration Regime, also known as the FMI SAR, to be put in charge of dealing with the possible systematic failure of digital settlement asset firms. For example, things like stablecoin issuers, wallet providers, and also third-party payment providers. They also asked for the FMI SAR to be put in charge of making sure that customers' funds are returned or transferred on time if a DSA firm goes bankrupt. They next asked for greater power of the Bank of England to tell administrators what to do and how to make the rules. And lastly, they pointed out that if there is a regulatory overlap, it will be necessary for the Bank of England to talk to the FCA prior to asking for an administration order or telling administrators effectively what to do. The Treasury has stated that one important reason for the proposed regulatory changes is that a large number of people could lose access to funds and assets they have chosen to hold as DSAs. By making the FMI SAR's job bigger, administrators would be able effectively to think about the return of customer funds and private keys as well as the continuity of service. But look, why is this all important, or even interesting for that matter? Well, the Bank of England has been interested in stablecoins for quite a while now, that's no secret. They actually published a study that looked into their role in the operation of the entire financial system, and that was very recently. And importantly, this document indicated that stablecoins could become more popular than bank deposits. In this regard, banks would face a massive outflow of liquidity, leading to a decrease in interest rates and subsequent problems associated with that. So in order to prevent such a problem, these coins ought to be regulated according to the same principle as the banks themselves. Following on from the example of Britain, stablecoins also tend to be viewed with great suspicion in the US. There, plans have been hatched for quite a long time to take such assets under close control. For example, during the coronavirus pandemic, the authorities paid close attention to the risks of stablecoins for investors who take risky financial actions without legal protection. Now, as in the UK, government controls will be introduced in order to prevent a situation where companies and individuals who have fallen under economic sanctions are illegally withdrawing funds using stablecoins. For this, the selective backing of some cryptocurrency transactions can even be carried out. Because they attract some of the world's largest investors, stablecoins naturally pop up on the radar of financial regulators. The authorities are now seeing them as risks to the functioning of the traditional banking system, rightly so, and they're trying to take these assets under their tight control as a result. Now, I think it's possible that some stablecoin providers who aren't part of the system will use this model, which is pretty much what most of these e-money providers in the UK are doing now. But if this model reaches the big systematic stablecoins, there could be some big problems. For example, a run on a systemic stablecoin would cause it to pull money out of the bank that protects it, which could force the bank to sell assets to cover the outflow. This kind of relationship, called tiering, is good for both parties, usually. However, because systemically important firms are connected to each other, it could increase the risks to financial stability. Tiering is already common with e-money and indirect access to payment systems, so it's not something new. But the risks to financial stability would be much higher if deposit-backed stablecoins become a big part of the system. It's a bit like mutually assured destruction, but economics. Another problem with this model is that banks that protect the economy may need to hold more high-quality liquid assets than they would otherwise. If this is the case, this model could actually hurt credit more than other models would. So what's the conclusion here? Well, the regulatory environment is in a state of flux when it comes to stablecoins. What we've looked at today shows us that both US and UK governments are really stepping up their efforts. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Well, anyway, if you agree with my predictions or you at least found them interesting, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe while hitting the bell notification so you're always up to date with everything crypto. My name is Bradley, and I'll see you tomorrow.